Hey there, we are in downtime, dead season. This is your time off. What are you going to do with it? Is it going to be a complete waste of time, or are you going to kill it and be totally prepared for your season when it starts? I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to make that happen. Hey there, welcome. I'm Katelyn James. This is my YouTube channel and I'm excited that you're here. This is a place that we like to empower photographers to build both profitable and purposeful businesses while also letting you in on the behind the scenes of our day-to-day life. So we are excited for 2022. Your craziness, hopefully your craziness has died down. Hopefully editing is far gone. You have delivered those galleries. Maybe booking season is even slowing down just a little bit. So now what? What do we do in January when we're not working like crazy? For a lot of us, it's cold. We literally have a snow day right now, no electricity at our house. But what do you do in this season? It can feel like a dead season, and without a vision of what you want to accomplish, it can kind of turn into just a wash. Photography is service-based, which means you're getting out there and you're doing physical labor, coming home, doing more of that when you're editing. I mean, it's a lot to run this business. So you want to take a break, but there's also an element to, do we really want to not do anything in our business from January to March? I'm going to give you 5 things you can do from January until March that will help you feel prepared and ready to go and hit the ground running once your season starts up again. Point number 1, update your portfolio and your website. And don't tune me out. I know you hear this all the time from anyone who educates, but here's the thing. If you have had a baby, if you have moved, if you have had anything big happen in your life, if you have had new headshots taken, new family photos taken, your about page, your website, everything should be updated to reflect the most recent version of you. You also should update your portfolio so that it represents the most recent version of you as a photographer. So you have shot a whole year of weddings or a whole year of portrait sessions, and you have to have had some new images that you're proud of. Now, something that has helped me tremendously to make this process seamless and fast and easy is that a part of my wedding workflow, every single wedding, I cannot check off on my Trello board that I am done with the wedding until I do the very last check mark, and that is to download my top images that I'm proud of, images that make me go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm a photographer. Download those and upload them to a portfolio gallery. So I have a CloudSpot portfolio gallery where literally the only thing in that gallery are just folders of portfolio images from every single year. When I go to pull images for a feature, pull images for Instagram, pull images for a website portfolio update, it all comes from that one gallery. So I can update my portfolio in about 20 minutes, whereas for some people, it's going to take a full day of sorting through your favorites to try to find what you actually want to put on your site. So that's a little bonus tip that will save you a lot of time. So tip number 2 is to organize your hard drives. Get that part of your life organized. And now it's going to be tempting to think, oh, I should organize everything that happened this past year. But Ty made a good point when we were talking about this, that it's actually like, let's not do that. So when it comes to organizing hard drives, let's just start fresh and move forward. You got to create a system that is actually maintainable. If you're not going to actually maintain it, there's no use even trying. You're just going to set yourself up for disappointment. So figure out a system that can actually work for you. There are 2 videos on our YouTube channel already where Ty has explained some really great secrets and tips to being organized in this area of your business. So let's do it now so that when you come to this point next year, you're like, I'm so glad I watched that YouTube video. Thank you, Katelyn. You're welcome. All right. Point number 3, tip number 3, whatever you want to call it. Now is the time to buy and take a course. Good analogy that Ty pointed out that I love, I'm going to steal it from him, is that sports teams, athletes, they're called athletes, people that do sports are athletes. Athletes do not try to get in their peak shape in the midst of their season. Why? Because there's no time for that. You just need to be performing. You got to be doing your best and performing when the pressure is on. You train, you get stronger, you improve when you have an off season. And so that is what this season is for. If you are wondering, what in the world, where do I even start? Let me break down a few things for you. So if you struggle with editing, that is either because 1, you don't know Lightroom, or 2, you have poor lighting. Most of the time, if you are a newer photographer, a lot of times lighting is your struggle, and the lighting and location course starts basic and gets very advanced. And so that is an all-encompassing course. That's why it's expensive. It's an investment, but it is everything you need to know about location, lighting, and creating imagery that you're proud of. If you struggle with editing, maybe you have great lighting and you understand the rules and you understand where to place people and you understand location do's and don'ts, then maybe your struggle is more with consistency within Lightroom. you really need to have a basic understanding of everything that Lightroom has to offer. And that is what the KJ Consistency course teaches. I go through the entire develop module of Lightroom and I break down everything that I use and how you can use it too to solve a lot of your editing issues that you have and you notice, or some of the editing issues you may not even know that you have. You just know you don't like your images. So consistency course. Now, if you really want to kill it, consistency course, and then the KJ preset process, which basically takes the 4 steps that I train you on in the consistency course, and I put it into a formula that you can use within Lightroom so that you have some boundaries and some guardrails to help you apply what you learned in the KJ consistency course. So the KJ preset process is not a part of the KJ consistency course. Those are 2 separate products because not everyone is going to want both. But I would recommend both, especially if you are falling in love with this way of editing within Lightroom. If you struggle with making your clients feel comfortable, like you just don't know how to interact with people, then the posing course is something that will transform the very next time you get out of your car with your camera in hand, you're ready to work with a new client. When April comes, how amazing would it feel to be able to get out of the car and meet somebody and know instantly how to win them over, make them love you, and make them feel comfortable, and dive right into the 4 core poses and then grow from there. Last but not least, maybe those things seem too advanced. Maybe you're a beginner, you're just getting started, you got a camera for Christmas, or a friend just asked you to take portraits and now more people are asking. If that is you and you need to learn at a beginner level that's not not a big investment, KJ All Access is a place for you to learn from behind the scenes from a pro. You can watch me shoot real shoots, real portrait sessions, real weddings. You can see all of that and learn from it. It's only $29 a month. You could actually try it for free for 5 days just to see if it is the right fit for you. So all that stuff is linked below. I'm hitting this hard now because I think I have done you all a disservice in the past by not explaining to you how in-depth these courses are and how you need time to do them. So this is not like a 45-minute, you watch it, you're done. Like this is hours of content, me teaching you everything I know in these areas. You got to make time to do them. So you don't want to be trying out this new stuff the very first time you pick up your camera once springtime hits. Like you want to have time to learn it and just really, absorb it, and then practice it before you're thrown into a crazy wedding day with a fast timeline and you're trying to apply all your posing techniques. So do it now so you have time to get used to the information and you start to really understand it and let it sink in before you start shooting again. All right, tip number 4. This is probably the least exciting tip. It's not that I don't care about my equipment, but I just don't like talking about equipment that much. Anyway, you got to get your gear cleaned. So you want to get your gear serviced and cleaned when you don't need it turned around within a week. Think about it now and make a note. Say, okay, next Wednesday, I'm going to box up 2 or 3 of my lenses and send them off to Canon or send it off wherever you send Nikons to and get your stuff serviced. So we have a Canon Pro. I actually don't know what it's called. Maybe it's Platinum, but it's basically a service plan that we pay for every year. It's a great business expense. It's a way to make sure you always have a place to rapidly send your broken stuff and get it fixed. Even if your stuff is not broken, it probably needs to be cleaned, calibrated, checked out, send it out, and do it before you have something that you are committed to shoot. So we do this every single year. It is one of Michael's tasks, and I don't envy it because it does not sound like much fun, but it's something that is necessary. So it helps give your gear longevity, and you invested a lot into this gear, and so you might as well take good care of it. Quick little pro tip. You want to update the firmware on your camera. The reason why you want to do this is because, especially with mirrorless, so much can be updated and fixed and enhanced by a firmware update. It used to be that it didn't do that much, but now that so much of the information and the way a camera functions is digital, that a firmware update can actually potentially solve some of the issues that you might be having with your camera. So if you're not sure how to do this, go ahead, Google your model camera, the make and model, and the firmware update, and you should be able to find some instructions on how to make this happen for your camera pretty quickly. So do that in your off season. Again, you don't want to be doing this the night before a wedding. That's stressful. So do it now while you have some breathing room. All right, point number 5 is to streamline your systems. And one really specific way that I want you to consider applying this is if you know last year, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if you were struggling last year to keep up with stuff like editing, you were overwhelmed, borderline burned out, started hating your job, started hating your life, kids resenting your business, you seriously need to consider outsourcing. It is just a normal part of growing business. It is actually a reward for yourself. It is not something that you should feel shameful about. You should be excited. If you need help with work, it means you're doing something right. Most people that I tell this to in the midst of their burnout, I'm like, you got to get help. You got to outsource. They're like, I don't have time to do that. Every waking moment I have during my busy season, I'm just trying to get the stuff I have to get done. So the excuse that I don't have the capacity to set up outsourcing, that ends now, because January through March, that's when you need to start talking to editors. I highly recommend private editor, not a massive company. Maybe it's not private editing. Maybe, this is going to sound crazy, but maybe you need to spend $150 here and there and have your house cleaned once a month. Think about it. Think about how much time and effort it takes to clean your house and how much you have to get done in your business and how much money you make in your business through your working hours versus the hours it would take to clean your house. Why not bless someone else? Let them clean your house once a month, maybe twice a month if you can afford it, and you do some more work hours so that you have more time with your family instead of trying to do it all. There's like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Stigma. Yes, there's a stigma about house cleaning, outsourcing your work. Basically, it's a stigma of letting people help you, that like a lot of people don't believe that they're worth it or that they're ready for it or that they can justify it. If you are profitable and you desire to grow your business and you also desire to have work-life balance, outsourcing, no matter what it is on the table for you. I am probably the most annoying friend. There are some friends of mine who are overbooked, they're overworked, and they're about to open up a new season of booking. And they're telling people, hey, like, you got to get on this, mark your calendars. This is when you get to sign up to work with me. And I text them and I say, have you raised your prices? Because it sounds like with the scarcity you're talking about, you need to raise your prices. And so maybe add this to point number 5. Raise your prices if you need to, because if you have people beating down your door to the point where you need to turn people away because you don't want to work that much, you need to raise your prices. And there's a lot of you out there that I don't think you realize how valuable you are. If you have anyone in your life telling you to raise prices, you need to raise them. If you don't believe me, go watch our pricing video, the whole thing, and then raise your prices. I hope you enjoyed this. This is not a normal video for us, but it's a video that I hope is helpful for you as you start into kind of this dead season. I hope that this is helpful in allowing you to enter into your busy season feeling refreshed and prepared. Thanks for watching. There's a lot of links below. Check it out. See you next time. Bye.